So you may be aware if you watch the channel that we go away to White Acres once a year. So there's a lot of Swindon lads. So believe it or not, I was born in Swindon. I think I was made in Siren. That's another story. So yeah, born in Swindon. So go away every year. Has been going for years. So what we do is we own our own little mini festival. It's ever so friendly. There's 24 of us fishing this year, and it's done on weight. So this is like a practice match. So we've all left. Well, not all. Some of us left this morning. Some of the lads come yesterday, and they got on the lash. A few of us have fished today. A few sore heads, and a few of them didn't turn up because they had a bit too much to drink. So I've drawn peg 22. Yeah, 22. And look at it, it's an absolute screamer of a peg. But for whatever reason, I have really, really struggled. I did try a few little things, but I couldn't get it right. And what I've come away from today was the fish didn't want any feed, which is surprising because this lake doesn't get fish loads. It's not like it's fished every day, matches and it's been battered. But for whatever reason, F1s, carp,
29.
it just didn't. They didn't seem to want any sort of feed. If I put anything in, they seem to back away from it and stuff. So tried monging, thonging, overshotted rigs, whatever you want to call it, didn't work. Tried paste short, didn't work.
10, 11.
Tried like paste a bit longer, like pinging a few pellets, fishing through the water, didn't work. Worms, I think would have been so much better. Tried pellets against the far bank, didn't really work, to be honest. Maybe I could have been a little bit more patient and a little bit more negative. Thing is, that far bank's pretty deep. It's probably a good 4 foot, and I've drawn it before and I've caught all right, like monging, but I've never done well off this peg. And yeah, I think it's an absolute flyer. Look at it, beautiful peg.
I thought it was 25 was last peg. Yeah, I just said 25. You just called me a liar.
So a bit of friendly banter with Laurie. So we do get on well, I promise. So it did fish quite tough, as you can see from the weights. Jamie Durrett won it opposite me with casters. Shallow. That just shows what I know.
Good morning. So it is day 1 of our festival. So we do like a weight festival. So 5 days. We've got 2 days at Morgan Porth, where I'm on to, well, going to now, not on to, going to. So 2 days at Morgan Porth and then 3 days at Belingi. So we'll be interested today. We're all on the top lake of Morgan Porth. There's 24 of us fishing, so I think that's going to be a little bit tough, to be honest. I fished it yesterday. I'd done awful. I drew quite a good peg, and peg 22 if we don't lose a Labrador. So yeah, drew peg 22 and only had 38 pound, which obviously a little bit disappointing, to be honest.
But I guess fundamentally,
So I have drawn peg 25, which is definitely a favourable area. I've got a bit of ripple, so the weather's sort of turned a little bit. It's not quite so hot. Don't get me wrong, it's still real nice weather, especially for September. So 25, why is it a little bit better? Because it's a little bit wider. There's obviously no one pegged opposite. So years ago, there used to be people pegged on the island. Opposite, yeah. Trust me, I know, because I remember fishing it. And I expect some people that may be watching this video remember it used to be full of weed as well, like loads of oxygen weed. But anyway, that's the past, this is the present, that's what we're interested in. So these pegs a bit wider, I think with 24 on it, I think this is going to be a favourable. Now I did start short, put a couple on pace short, just tapped in literally some fishery markers and just fished some seafood expander mix over the top. So hinder stuff. So nice and simple, fed next to nothing. Caught a couple of early fish, went iffy, went on the pole, caught a few fish on worms, then chucked the method and caught on that. And then basically finished off on worms. I did get a few blows today, so the fish sort of give themselves away when they were there, which is great. So you feed a little bit of bait, no activity as in no blows or anything. So you knew no fish were there. As soon as you got a few blows and that, you knew it was time to go on it. So sometimes these little silty lakes can be advantageous for you to know when fish are there. Obviously, you had to look very carefully at the water because obviously with ripple, obviously if the wind was stronger, you wouldn't be able to see the bubbles unless there was like a massive jacuzzi, which is not going to happen this time of year. So quite interesting fishing, very negative. Rotating lines, not feeding too much bait neither was key, and obviously getting advice off King Richard, aka Richard Vincent, who is like the organizer basically. I help him, but he does all the hard work, so he can take all the credit. Um, it did fish tough in places, as expected, um, but for most, it was enjoyable. Worms and casters and a bit of fishery micro, just mixes of stodge was definitely a safe bet. I think casters would work in places for these F1 shallow on this lake. Not so sure about the bottom lake because obviously this is a voiceover. The bottom lake doesn't seem to have quite so many F1s in it. It's more sort of like carp, so I'm not so sure about that. So I don't think you need to be a caster blaster to compete on this lake. I know some of them. So Trevor said, who's the owner, Trevor Williams, said that some of the lads were catching quite well on maggot shallow and stuff, but he says he fishes pellets and catches loads of fish, so he would know because he owns a lake.
Jamie Durrett. Yeah, he's been walking the bank longer than he's been fishing, isn't he?
It's no fish down there. Master said he's had 2 bites.
Look, Ghost F1 that is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got attitude that has.
So there's today's weight. Did fish quite hard as expected. Don't get me wrong, this lake's full of fish, but with the weather and stuff, made it tough.
So, just finished. I've had a nice day's fishing. I had £59.8, become agonisingly second, but caravan mates won it, Jason Crump. So he's had £61.8, so he's beat us by £2. And then Alan Oram, who's our new caravan mate, he's had £54, so he's come third. It did fish quite hard, as expected, with 24 of us and the weather change and stuff, so it was never going to be easy, but fair play, you know, it's still a fishing match. We're at Belingi tomorrow. Methods caught today: worms, casters, bit of micro pellets was good. A few people caught negative like pellets. I had a couple on the method feeder, but just couldn't keep nothing coming. And the last hour and a half was agonising. I've literally had one F1, which I foul hooked on the pole, got it out. And then, yeah, I didn't have no bites, nothing. Had a bit of a knock, 10 seconds to go down the edge. Trying to get a bet with Rich Vincent, £1,000 that I wouldn't catch down the edge. So yeah. Anyway, waffling on. Looking forward to tomorrow. Don't know what to say about tomorrow, really. I don't really know it. So just try and get some gen. I'd imagine it's going to be a lot of negative pellet fishing, I would have thought. So time will tell. Anyway, I'll catch you soon. Cheers, bye.
So I didn't record day 2 just because I didn't have time to set up my camera. I was running a bit late.
Good morning. So this is day 3 of our festival. So I'm on the way to Morgan Porth. Day 2 yesterday was at Belingi. I didn't film it, not because I'm sour grapes or anything. I just didn't have time to kit it up. I actually had a good day. I had £137 come third. Won the lake stroke section or whatever you want to call it. Jamie Durrett just beat us. He had 139 and Little Baz had £141. So yeah, it was pretty good day's fishing, really. Fish were quite tough to catch, so a little bit frustrating. Definitely got a little bit mugged off by the carp down the edge. Good crack, good company. So happy days. Caught on paste just for a change. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Today, Morgan Porth. So Trevor, the owner of Morgan Porth, very kindly let us have the bottom lake as well. So first day of the festival, we had to have a top lake only, 24 of us on there, because Trevor had his open match on the bottom lake. Today, to ease a little bit of pressure off the top lake, he's very kindly let us have the bottom lake as well. So for the festival, it's just all done on weight, but you've always got something to fish for, so try and make it as friendly as possible. So basically it's like 5 open matches, and then we have like a little weight festival at the end of it. We all put 20 quid in, so it's not like loads of money, it's just a little bit of money. It's alright, can't multitask, just surprised at the pedestrian. So where was I going? Yeah, so 20 quid in for the festival money, and then 10 quid in for random pairs. We do like 2 quid each day, so just like just makes it nice and interesting then. Just good crack. Alan and I was with Alan yesterday, and Ricky Mills and Little Baz won it. They beat us by I think about £1.10 or something like that, so it's quite tight. And then the first day, Alan won it. Who did he win it with? You can tell I never rehearse or have a script for my thing. But yeah, Alan and his partner won it. So Alan almost won it, 2 days on the bounce. And today, Alan Oram, the new boy, is got Mick Lane for his random pair. So I'd imagine they'll be favourites, depending on the draw, because the top end of Morgan Porth can be a little bit tough. So the early pegs like 2, 4, and then the last sort of pegs 34 and 32 can be quite tough, to be honest. Just nature of the beast, so that's why Trevor's kindly offered to let us have the bottom lake. Methods wise, to be honest, corn down the edges have been good. Yeah, got a flashing light here, one of his recycling day. So corn down the edges is decent. Pace hasn't really worked, I think, because we had so much cold rain last week. I think it's just the water temperature has just dropped quite a lot, and just pace is just hasn't been as productive as what it normally has been. Can't remember how to get here. I come a different way today. I didn't come the coast way. So yeah, pace hasn't been as productive. Feel I'm waffling on a little bit. Worms has been good. Making sure there's no one behind me. So worms has been decent. just worms, casters. Ricky Mills done quite well on that. The practice match, he come third, and then he done pretty well, to be fair, on the practice match as well. God, I gotta love these lanes.
So I have drawn peg 32, which is not ideal because it's quite narrow. So I haven't fed anything anywhere, and I've just gone straight down my edge, and I've decided to fish maggots. The reason being is hopefully it's going to be cleaner bites, and also we're not getting bitted out. So just literally just a few dead maggots, a pinch of micros, feeding next to nothing, going straight down there, straight in the lilies. There has been a little bit of activity before the match started. By no means it's not solid. They're not kicking up dirt or moving around or anything like that. I ain't that lucky. And today, being Tuesday, it is freezing this morning. It was really, really cold. Even I wore a hoodie this morning,
Oh,
which
well, I
normally I
know.
never wear. Anything
Yeah.
but a t-shirt, to be honest, so you knew it was cold.
Yeah.
Because I felt there was going to be more sort of F1s and stuff up this end. I know there's potentially going to be the odd rogue carp. Therefore, I've opted to fish reasonably light, so 018 mainline to 014 hook length. Now, it gives me half a chance of getting a carp out, but obviously it could be a bit hairy and a bit scary if I hook one of them 8-pound angry mirrors. But hey, you got to be lucky to hook one of them, to be honest. So I didn't want to fish too heavy because I was worried that I'll put the F1s on, put the F1s off. And as you can see, this is giving me a bit of a run around. So I got 2mm hybrid elastic just through a short kit, so it powers up nice and quick. Obviously I've got some lilies. The lilies are not horrific, so I like to think that if they did charge through there and I lifted the pole up high, I'd give myself half a chance of getting the fish out. So again, feeding very negatively everywhere. Didn't really want to go crazy. Half an hour to go, I've given it some bait to the pallet. So basically next to 31, fed 2 pots of ground bait and a pot of micros and saw no activity at all. Larry opposite me has caught really well. Fair play, he's caught a few early on a top kit, and then he's caught in the last sort of hour and a bit, so he's done really well. He's come second overall today, so fair play to Laurie. I think he brought his lucky charm, so his wife come, so obviously she should come again, without a doubt. And I was lucky here, I booked a decent carp, and that 014 was obviously strong enough for me to get it out. So happy days. So I won my section by default. So thanks to Larry, I could afford some chips tonight. So there's the results after 3 days of fishing. So day 4, I've drawn peg 7 on Belingi. I don't know the venue at all, so I'm not gonna give like loads of advice how to fish Belingi when I don't even know how to fish it myself. So it was obvious it was fishing hard. We got a full moon, good old mornings. As you can see, it's pretty much flat calm and it's bright sunshine. So only caught a couple of fish on the pole. So I had to chuck the feeder. So you know I'm struggling when I'm chucking the feeder.
Do I say that?
And then I did catch a few Crassios on the feeder. Jace Robinson next to me on 6 caught a few carp on a
You are
method.
good, Grumpy.
His method was a bit bigger than mine. He fished a wafter. So maybe I made a mistake there because I fished a smaller method and just used micros. Wasn't really catching, pinged a few fishery perch across with some 6 mils. So the fishery 6 mils are quite big, they're coppins. So therefore, you know, they're quite a dense pellet, so you could be able to fire them. I'm not sure exactly how wide that would be. 26 meters-ish, I would have thought. It may be wider, it may be narrower, I'm not sure. And Jay's done the same. I think he fed 8 mils though. So still pinging the far bank, open to sort of like build it up. And it was definitely what I've learned is you need to be quite patient.
Hello, you don't even know my name, but I am happy you came by. No lessons learned, of course you're gonna leave as soon as you came across who I am not. This party sucks, I'm out of luck, and no one seems to get me here. They talk about some all the stuff that I don't even wanna hear. The crazy part is that I didn't feel this way before I got here. I wanna be somebody, hanging with somebody. Can I be somebody, dancing with somebody? I wanna be somebody. Goodbye. The truth is I didn't even find your company that good. My lessons learned. Maybe I don't have to be around these people anymore. This party sucks, I'm out of luck. I don't know why I'm being here. They talk about some silly stuff, they even don't know if it's real. The crazy part is that I didn't feel this way before I got here. I wanna be somebody, hanging with somebody.
This is foul up, right?
suck you off.
Can I be somebody? Dancing with somebody. I wanna be somebody. Maybe if I stay, maybe if I hold on a little longer, maybe if I stay, maybe I will find what I am looking for. I wanna be somebody, hanging with somebody, Can I be somebody, dancing with somebody? I wanna be somebody.
I'd like to point out, Ricky, sorry to disappoint you, but it wasn't fouled up. Probably a good 25 foul up. Hey, who do I share a caravan with?
Straight in the back.
Yeah, I can't believe it, honestly. Just put it in,
Now this has been a struggle.
pull the elastic out
I'm
that.
not just saying that, it really has. So I ain't caught very much. I've caught maybe more than some. In the first 4 hours, I've had a few crassios, a couple of carp. Well, I ain't got a great deal. I've probably got, looking back, maybe 35. Yeah, probably £35. But there's 45 minutes to go, I believe, because I asked them the time, and I finally booked a fish down the edge. Now it's really deep to my left. You definitely don't want to be falling in. Now what I find was best was feeding corn and micros, but what you had to do is make sure the micros were quite heavily soaked, so they're very white and just added a bit more sort of weight. I know some lads fish basically feed like 6s or 8 mils down the edge, but for whatever reason, it just, I think because it's fishing so tough, I think you wanted to do that.
The other one.
Now, lads will foul looking fish no matter what, so even lads that are fishing like 8 mils down the edge, feeding 8 mils, some lads are fishing corn, feeding corn, they were still suffering from the same issue of unfortunately foul looking a few fish. And as you can see, some of these fish are really big. Now I actually thought I had 2 fish for £35, but when we weighed them, there were 2 fish for £29.8, so still big fish. I did foul look both of them, one in the anal fin and one in the belly. I was really lucky I got them out. Could argue that I was a little bit unlucky with some of the other fish fishing long, so it's like about probably 8 foot deep, and I probably hooked 10 fish on pace long. This is not actually foul hooked, and I've lost all 10, and I think they're just crassios, to be honest. So what I'm getting at is you need a little bit of luck. I think everyone has a bit of luck when they fish, and sometimes you're unlucky. But now I've probably got about 40 minutes left. Now it's time to make hay when the sun shines. So I need to make sure that I, be proper on it now. So I'm fishing pretty heavy, fishing 0.22 straight through down the edge. I knew the fish would be quite big. I've got a 2.6 Dave Wilmot hybrid elastic. And this one is foul hooked. I played it for ages and I didn't feel you needed to watch me struggling with a fish for 10 minutes.
Time when you need a Morgan Walk. I think it's a great big ghoster. Oh no. Let me be. Fantasy. What you got for tea tonight then, Jace Robinson?
We've got pies tonight.
I thought you had pies last night.
No, we had pork chops.
What?
Pork chops last night.
Pork chops. He fucking loves pork, doesn't he? What do you reckon you got, Ricky?
50.
How much?
50 maybe.
Is it?
In the mouth.
Alright. No, I didn't mean to foul look. I'm sorry, alright? I'll put them back.
We foul up a little day on paste.
Yeah, but I haven't been getting them out.
Never foul up on paste.
Nah. Yeah, maybe. It's gone past you, innit? Fucking clean as fuck bite though. Is that Denise's rape alarm? Stop.
Well done, legend.
I ain't a legend, am I?
What? Foul fish?
Oh, there's only two. I felt that's a bit fucking.
It's not basically happening.
This one had foul look. I thought it was where it kited off, but the bite was clean. They are. How long we got left now?
Huh?
That's one of the cases going some night for a snap.
Yeah, shame it went a bit like half an hour earlier. I'm not moaning,
Well, no.
just saying.
Took out over 100 pound out of nowhere.
It ain't that big.
Still gonna have over 100 pound out of nowhere.
You reckon?
Well, won't you? You got 59 a minute ago and you've had like 3 more since then.
2. So get this one out, 3.
You're all good at that, mate.
Yeah, I reckon I got 2 in the net for £35, I reckon. Honestly.
Yeah, what, since that 59? Or...
No, that was included 59. And I've had another one since, £15. What's that, 59? 76, isn't it? No, 74. Trying to do me on the net. Or she. Or them.
All day.
Identify myself as a Derek.
Get that?
Yeah,
Big on powerful in the front area.
in the tail.
For the final day, I've drawn peg 16,
Try and get a bite.
which hasn't really thrown up this week for whatever reason. But the wind has changed and it is sort of blowing in my direction. It's not very strong, but As you can see to my left, I've got a load of scum.
Yeah, that's enough of
So
Is it eel?
surely that's going to help, right?
This has got an eel on.
Put a fucking eel on pace.
I'm playing an eel, so that's probably not a good sign.
I'll tell you what,
Right.
it's quite a big one.
Not a bad
It's gonna be
size,
a
but
pound.
don't really want to be catching eels. We want to be catching them
If Liam
famous
was fishing,
Belingi
he'd be
carp, isn't it?
screaming.
So, Jamie's drawn peg 28. Jason Crump is drawn peg 7. We've put 6 out because 2 lads didn't fish in. Dangerous got a bad back, and that's Dangerous Dave. And Mac has got a bad back as well. So I don't know if them
I
two
ain't
have
got it
been
out yet.
up to
You're
no
only trying to
good
get in Crumpy's head.
on a Wednesday night. Let me know down below if they haven't.
What's Crumpy at?
Anyway, so I couldn't catch on the par. I've had one little tiny Carasio and I've had one eel.
Yeah, of course you do.
So chuck the method to the far bank, and fair play pretty much has gone straight round. So again, just fishery micros, and I've opted for a 6mm, but been mindful that obviously I might need to stick a wafter on. So just fishing 8-pound Maxima line to my little 9-foot MVR carp rod, and I've got a 018 hook length. In retrospect, maybe that wasn't quite strong enough. I don't know. I did get broke a couple of times, but basically I think it wouldn't matter what line I had on because you're chucking so close to the roots that unfortunately it was always going to lose a few. I didn't lose any method, so I didn't get like tethered or anything, but unfortunately I did get locked up to the far bank. So I think the fish have somehow dislodged the hook because it was solid. Not to think if the fish was still on the end, surely you wouldn't pull for a break, would you? They would move around and stuff. But anyway, I didn't lose any feeders or anything, especially when they're £3 each. Don't really want to be losing them. Carp were on the smaller side, I thought, at the time, but I think they were a bit bigger than what I give credit for. And obviously some of these great big fish aren't quite as big as what you think. So, because day 4, I thought I had 2 fish for £35. I had 2 fish for £29. I only put 2 fish in 1 keep net. So obviously they're not quite as big as what I'd thought. So this is real time, just to show how quick bites did actually come on the method. So I just double skinning it. So I've just put 1 layer on the little tiny method, and then I'll literally just put another mould on. So I put the pellet in the first mould and then skinned over the top. So push the pellets in quite hard the first lot, then not quite so hard the second lot. But it's really important you take your time with the fishery micros, because if you overwet them, especially going on the method, that's not going to be good. But you need to overwet them to feed them down the edge. That's why I've got a bag of soaked pellets, and I wrap it up, and then I can tailor how I want to feed them, either on the method or down the edge.
big.
Fish on.
got like buckets to put bait in. This is foul up, this is. Yeah.
You don't lose it.
That's not very nice. What you got?
What you got first?
I've got about £90.
That fish is going to be important then.
But what you got?
About £90.
Half hour. I hooked a couple down there, but
Yeah, it's weird. They don't come down the left, do they?
no, ain't caught nothing.
Yeah.
I'll just watch them catch.
What from you got today?
He had to say it. He had about £70 with 2 hours to go.
Yeah. Yeah, if you get that in, mate, that's going to be tight between us. If you're being honest.
Yeah,
Jamie then.
Jamie's got £90, he said.
It's not enough to win. Well, it might be enough to win this overall thing, no? You got over 90, Chris.
I don't think I have.
There's fucking big fish in here, isn't there? Jesus. I think I've got one snap, I've got 4 fish in. I'd be interested to see how that goes. What you had, Larry?
Hey, look.
So there's all the result. Really pleased to win. Great week away. Next day we fished an open. There was 4 of us that fished it, as in our lads, and I come second off peg 22 with £122. So great way to finish off the week.